Everyone loves football.
It's a Zach Gelb Show. Football Friday on Fox Sports 920 The Jersey.
That's right. I feel the excitement already. We're counting down the hours. 4:25 on Sunday. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers, the first big real test in the Carson Wentz era. And now joining us on a 5:15 as he does each and every Football Friday is Mark Eckel, the fine author and writer from NJ.com. And Mark is kind enough to join us right now. Mark, welcome back to the show, and how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Zach. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fantastic, and we're getting closer to that big game on Sunday. But let's look back at last week. I was very impressed once again with Carson Wentz, and even more impressed with Doug Peterson as the head coach. Who have you been more impressed with through the first two games of the season, the quarterback or the head coach?
That's a good question. I mean, both. I mean, you have to say both. I don't want to cop out, but I think I'm more I'm surprised at Wentz too. I'm more surprised with Doug Peterson. How about that? How about if we say if the surprise is a factor? Because, and for the same reasons. I mean, going into this season, I'll be honest, I didn't think this Eagle team was going to win a lot of games. And one of the main reasons was I thought with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback, there would be mistakes. There would be learning. There was a learning curve involved here, I thought. And I thought they would both start slowly. I thought, Wentz would make the kind of mistakes I've seen other rookie quarterbacks make through the years. Throw an ill-advised pass here, take a bad sack there, do something. Just things that hey, quarterbacks in their fifth and sixth years still do those kind of things. But he's been, and that's to me, that's been his most impressive thing about him so far in the 8 quarters that he's played is that, he's made some great throws. He's made some great, he's run a little bit. All that, okay. I knew he could do things like that. The fact that he stayed away from any type of bad play and bad mistake is kind of amazing for a rookie quarterback. And then with that said, Doug Peterson, I mean, let's be honest. He's a guy that when Eagles hired him, people went, Doug Peterson, really? Come on. And he wasn't even their first choice. We all know that. But he hasn't made any mistakes either. I mean, there hasn't been a wasted timeout. He hasn't done anything, clock management-wise. He's been very gutsy, going for it 4 times on 4th down, and he's 4 for 4. So, yeah, both of them get very high grades right now.
Yeah, I would say I'm more impressed with Peterson, and I'm not knocking Carson Wentz at all. I've been very impressed with him, but it's just that uncertainty factor that there was with Doug Peterson, because when he got hired, you basically said, like the reaction you gave us, that's who they go with. At least with Carson Wentz, I had a little bit of hope, but through the first 2 games, I love what I'm seeing out of the quarterback and the head coach. But with the quarterback, the only thing that concerns me is how he protects his body, or the lack of it, through the first 2 games. Will he adjust, and will he decide to throw some balls away? Will he decide to slide a little bit more and go out of bounds, or is he going to continue to go at this reckless pace?
Well, it's funny. I don't think he's going to throw the ball away. I think he made it pretty clear to us the other day when he spoke to the media about, he said, getting hit in the pocket is part of the game. You're going to get, you're going to deliver, if he delivers a throw and he gets hit, he says, I'm willing to take that. That's part of being a quarterback. He did admit that he has to be smarter when he scrambles or when he runs. He's got to get out of bounds. Don't fight for that extra yard and take the hit when you can just step out of bounds. Or if he's in the middle of the field, slide. Don't get toppled over again like he did again last week. I mean, and again, it's funny because when Mike Vick was here, he would say the same things to us on Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day it was that he spoke. And every week he'd say the same thing. Oh, you know what? I got to be smarter. Yeah, I got to not take those hits. And then Sunday would come and he would do the same things again. So I'm hoping that Carson Wentz listens to himself and his coaches and his teammates and everybody else that's telling him, get out of bounds, slide, don't take the big hit, because, teams are going to put him out. They're not going to – they'll even take the 15 yards to put a quarterback out of action. So he's really got to be careful there. And he's smart enough to know it, and he knows what he's doing. I think he's such a competitor that he's trying to get that extra yard, even though his coaches and stuff keep telling him, listen, we don't need that extra yard right now.
That's the only flaw in his game. There's no question about that, because other than that, he's been brilliant through these first 2 games of the season, and he needs some help around him because that 2-minute drill, he was flawless. It should have been a touchdown. Matthews drops the ball, and also the run game in game number 2 didn't help him out that much, and if the Eagles want to be competitive in this game on Sunday, or dare I say it, win the game on Sunday, they're going to need to be able to run the football and keep Big Ben and Antonio Brown on the sidelines. Where's your confidence in this Eagles run game right now?
Not very high, to be honest with you. It's been the weakest part of the offense. I'm not surprised by that. I didn't think this running game was very good going into the season, and nothing's really changed. You may see a little more Wendell Smallwood this week. He got 2 carries last week, gained 18 yards on the 2 carries. I talked to him a couple days ago. I have a story up this morning about him. And he kind of let it out to me that slowly but surely he's getting more and more work in practice. Now, keep in mind now, that was a guy they liked him when they drafted him. They wanted him to be more of a factor, but he basically missed all of preseason. He got hurt early, came back, then got the concussion in the Colts game, and had to miss the Jets game. So, as he said, the regular season has kind of been his preseason because he really didn't play much in preseason. So he's still getting acclimated to the NFL. So he was a little behind, but and is he the answer? I can't say that he is, but I think they're going to try something a little bit different there. The Steelers are also very good against a run, so that's a bad combination that you're looking for. A team not doing well with the run going against a team that's very good against it. I don't see a big game. I don't see a lot of yards coming from the running game this week.
All right, so you mentioned Wendell Smallwood as we're talking to Mark Eckel from NJ.com, and you're on top of everything when it comes with the Eagles, and you told us last week to pay close attention to Trey Burton, and he had 7 receptions on the Monday Night Football game. Do you have a breakout star this week for the Eagles? Who would be that guy?
Oh my gosh, you're putting the pressure on me now.
That's what we do, Mark.
I'm gonna stick with my guy. I'm gonna say Wendell's. Let's look for. Again, I don't think it's going to be a breakout game. I'm not sure anybody's going to have a breakout game this week against the Steelers. I think the Steelers could be the second best team in football behind the Patriots. I mean, they're that good. They really are. I mean, it's crazy. After 2 weeks, I think, in my mind anyway, you might disagree, but I think the AFC has come down to a 2-team race.
Oh, I agree. I thought that going into the year.
Yeah, well, I always think, but now when you actually watch, no one's jumping out at me besides those 2 teams. I mean, I thought the Bengals could be there, and the Steelers showed last week that they're clearly better than the Bengals. With that said, let me give you Smallwood as a guy that he might not break out, but you might see him get more of a workload than he's gotten. Well, first 2 games he got 1 carry and 2 carries. So let's see. I think he'll get more carries. Then maybe he might get the most carries in the game. How about that?
Okay, I'll be looking forward to that, and I won't be watching any of Bart Scott during the game, but I will be watching Bart Scott before the game. What did you make of Bart Scott's controversial comments about Carson Wentz?
I mean, I like guys with opinions. We'll see. I mean, you know what? I hate to say this because I don't want to sound like I'm agreeing with Bart Scott at all, but it's nice to hear something different. I mean, all we've been hearing from everybody from Brett Favre to Jerry Jones is, "Oh my God, Carson Wentz is great. Carson Wentz is great. Carson Wentz is great." It was kind of nice to hear somebody say, "Hey, let's back up on this guy a little bit. Let's see him," just to hear something different. And Bart Scott was a pretty darn good linebacker, so I do respect his opinion a little bit. But that doesn't make him right. I'm just saying it. I found it interesting that. Now, was he saying it just to be different? I don't know. I don't know Bart Scott that well to know if he's the kind of guy that just takes the opposite, theory just to get his name out there. But it will be. We'll see. Now we have a guy on the record. If Wentz continues to play well and he beats the Steelers this week, Bart Scott's going to look pretty stupid, right?
No, he definitely would. And the thing I didn't like what he said was that he didn't face any pressure. Yes, you're going against two bad football teams, but when I watch Carson Wentz and break down the tape, I like when he is facing pressure, how he steps up in that pocket and has nice footwork. That's where I think his analysis was wrong.
You're right. You're right. I forgot that part of it. Yeah. He said that. I mean, yes, the Browns. You're right. The Browns and Bears. The Browns are the worst team in football, and the Bears I thought would be better, but they're not. So they're down there as well. But that aside, the Browns put a lot of pressure on them.
And they have Hayden.
The Browns stopped blitzing because every time they blitzed, they got burned. So they said, "Hey, the hell with that. We're not going to blitz anymore. We'll do something different here. We'll sit back in coverage." And keep in mind, yes, the Browns are a bad team. They're a young team, but Ray Horton is a very good defensive coordinator. He's had success everywhere he's been, and let's give him a couple years with the Browns and see what happens. But that's a good defensive mind there in Ray Horton, and the Bears have John Fox and Vic Fangio, two very good defensive minds who have had tons of success in this league as well. So, yes, the teams they went against weren't the best, but the coordinators that Carson Wentz has gone against are pretty smart guys. So he's outsmarted some pretty smart guys.
So what would your expectations be this weekend for the kid at quarterback that Mark Eckel, when he walks away, says, okay, I still feel pretty darn good about him?
Win the game would be real nice. I'd be real impressed with that. What I've been most impressed with as I started when you first asked me about him is that he hasn't made any rookie type or any kind of bad mistake. He's been in my mind he's been flawless when it comes to his decision making. Now, granted, someone's going to tell me, "Oh, I watched the film and Aguilar was open down the sideline and he threw the ball to Matthews over the middle." Well, guess what? Joe Montana did that sometimes. When you watch a film, you always see things differently because you don't have a linebacker coming at you or you don't have a defensive tackle coming up the middle. So, but I saw nothing glaring there. Like he hasn't thrown a pass that I watch every pass. He hasn't thrown a pass where I said, "Oh my God, what was he doing? He should never have thrown the ball there." And he did it in the preseason, which is funny because in the one preseason game he played against Tampa, he threw that terrible interception. When I did say, "Oh my God, what was that?" He can't make mistakes like that. Well, he hasn't. He's been extremely flawless. So if he continues, if he comes away, if I leave the Steeler game, and even if the Eagles lose the game, but I can say again, man, the kid didn't make any bad mistakes. I'll be impressed.
I'm going 31-20 Steelers. What do you go with this week?
A little closer. I think I had 24-20.
Okay, fair enough. As Mark Eckel from NJ.com joins us. So today you're at the Soup King, once again kissing babies, signing all the books, and meeting all the fans. Tomorrow you'll be at the Italian American Fest, and that's tomorrow. Tell me a little bit more about the book and the big book tour that you're going on.
Tomorrow, it's the Big 50 Eagle, the men and moments that made the Philadelphia Eagles. Tomorrow, like I said, I'll be at Mercer County Park for the Italian American Fest. I'll be in the special events section. So stop by. I'll probably be there in the afternoon. I'm guessing like between 12 and 4. Monday night, I'll be in Holland, Pennsylvania at Johnny Apple's from about 6:30 to 8:30, signing copies there. So if you're in the Bucks County, if you're in Mercer County or Bucks County, I think that you guys reach both of those areas, right?
Yep.
So you have a chance. If you want a copy of the book, stop out. You save a couple bucks if you get it from me, and I'll sign it as opposed to getting it at Barnes & Noble or online or whatever. So come on out. We can talk about the game a little bit, either before on Saturday or after on Monday, and get a copy of the book.
Final one for you, since you are an Eagles historian now. Do you consider this Steelers-Eagles a rivalry in the year of 2016?
No, because they don't play often enough.
I agree. I had
to
some
be a rivalry,
gentlemen.
You have to play more. I mean, I think when they do play, it's kind of cool. Even Jordan Matthews even brought it up and said, "Yeah, this is kind of neat. They're in Pennsylvania. We're in Pennsylvania. Blah blah blah." But when you play a team once every 4 years, it's hard to really get a hatred for them or a rivalry. Although there is a chapter in my book about the Steagles.
That's why I asked it, Mark.
1943, they actually had because of World War II. the NFL was in trouble. A lot of the players were going to war. They had to merge the team into one team, and it was kind of a mess, as I learned when I was writing that chapter, because the two coaches hated each other.
How about that? We learn something new each and every week, Mark, when you join us. Thanks for coming on, and we'll do it again next Friday.
Take care.
All right, there is Mark Eckel joining us on the Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920, The Jersey. I had a gentleman come up to me yesterday, an older gentleman, and I told this story on air yesterday. I'll say it again, because that's why I asked the question. And I said, this isn't a rivalry. This isn't Giants, Eagles. This isn't Cowboys, Eagles. This isn't Redskins, Eagles. This is just two teams that play in the same state, very far away from each other. Now, someone can argue, well, look at the Penguins and the Flyers. Different. Very different. And this older gentleman said, well, they were once the Steagles. And I said, that's great, but in the year of 2016, this is no longer a rivalry. And that's why I wanted to get Mark Eckel, a authoritative voice on all issues when it comes with the Philadelphia Eagles, his opinion on this with the Big 50, because I knew he would have the knowledge to answer that question, because yesterday I said, no, wait, not a rivalry. And then Mark made me feel good today when he did agree with me. Now, if he disagreed with me, I would say, he's not coming on the show again. Well, actually, that'd be a lie, because he comes on each and every Friday in football season. That is the great Mark Eckel. So when I break down this game, I went 31-20, and I see it being a touchdown late that expands that score. I see it being a close game for the most part. But here are my 4 keys. Number 1, it's the obvious. Eagles can't afford to turn over the football. Through the first 2 weeks, check and check. Then key number 2. In a game like this, when you're going up against a team that is a favorite to get to the Super Bowl and has such a illustrious history with so many great former players, but now the players playing in the game, the current good players in a Big Ben and Antonio Brown, James Harrison on the other side of the ball, you need all 3 phases of the game. And the Eagles, if they want to get a victory on Sunday, they're going to need a big special teams play. Whether it's a block field goal, a block punt, or maybe a Energizer Bunny, Darren Sproles, punt return, touchdown, take it to the crib and celebrate. So those are my first 2 keys. Don't turn over the football. And number 2, get a big special teams play. Now, number 3, it's defensive line pressure. It's the big boys, the battle in the trenches, the behemoths up front that hunt the opposing team's quarterback. And with that being said, the Eagles have a very good defensive line. Fletcher Cox, Connor Barwin, you know the names, Benny Logan, Brandon Graham, Vinny Curry. So with all those names, they have the depth to get after Big Ben. But will it be enough? Because what's behind those defensive linemen? Not a very strong secondary, especially the corners without Leotis McKelvin on Sunday. So if the Eagles want to win this game, they're going to have to be on Big Ben's ass all game. And when they wrap up, they're going to have to bring him down. And he's very elusive. He finds a way to break those tackles. He embraces that contact. The defensive line pressure is a must on Sunday, because you need to aid that secondary and give them some help. Because if not, you'll have the big wide receivers for the Steelers running circles around these corners, and they'll make them look like toast. Now, key number 4, and this is a big key, and we talked about it with Mark. Establishing a run game. You need a run game this week, because if the Eagles want to win, you have to go on some long drives. You need to go on those 10 plays, 74-yard drives that chew up 5 minutes and 30 seconds off the game clock. Because you need to keep Big Ben and Antonio Brown, that lethal combination, on the sideline. So those are my 4 keys for the Eagles. Don't turn over the football, get a big special teams play, defensive line pressure, and establish a run game. The reason I go 31-20 Steelers is because in this matchup, I believe they could do 2 out of that 4 for this upcoming Sunday. I believe most games this year, Carson Wentz won't turn over the football. I believe he's an exceptional quarterback. But through 2 games, no turnovers, the odds are against him for a rookie. I believe he throws his first turnover this week. And it may not even be him. It could be a running back fumbling a football. But there will be a turnover this week. I do foresee them getting a big special teams play. I believe Sproles could put them in very good field position. I also believe the defensive line, which is one of the better defensive line units in the entire league, will get pressure on Big Ben. But that last one, establishing a run game, it's very tough for me to foresee the Eagles establishing a run game on Sunday, especially with the Steelers' run defense. This is not a vaunted Steelers defense like in years past, but it's still a good defense. Not great, not amazing, but it's a good defense. It's enough for them to win a Super Bowl with this defense because of their high octane and their prolific passing offense. So I go 2 of 4 on those keys. I could see a turnover this week for the Birds. I could also see them not establishing a run game. But then on the other end, I could see them getting a big special teams play and defensive line pressure. But at the end of the day, I go 31-20, Steelers over the Eagles. This is the Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920, The Jersey. Time right now in our Princeton Orthopedic Associate Studios, 537, 609-919-9200. We'll take our final break of the day. When we get back, we got to do some home stretch. Things that agitate me in the world of sports, or they may not even be in the world of sports. We'll also give you the baseball lineups for your local teams tonight.